Good now, everyone. I hope this broadcast finds you well. My name is Artorius Winchester, Scholar of the Dreaming Glade. And welcome back to a long-awaited, another cocktail stream. It's been a little while, hasn't it? It's our last one. About 3 months at this point, I think. So, not doing great on the whole once-a-month thing so far. But what can I say? I've had a busy couple of months in preparation for next month, which is also going to be busy. And then we shall try and regain some semblance of regularity and normality after that. But yeah, if you're clicking on this, I hope this has found you well. I hope you're perhaps intrigued by the thumbnail. Maybe you guessed one or even both of the VTubers we're going to make some cocktails for tonight. And yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say in this opening segment, really. So I'm just going to switch screens to here. There we go. It's been a while since I've ran this. Got to try and make sure that I remember all the different buttons for navigating around this mess. I have got all my ingredients now and some ice frozen, although I'll have to move about to get it a bit because I'm still woefully far away from a freezer. I did have a thought just now, actually, of how I might be able to fix that. But, yeah, without moving my freezer. But it'll have to be a solution for a couple of months' time, I believe. But yeah. So, anyway, where were we? Cocktail stream number 4. I was going to say something else there, but the whole freezer moving thing, that was it, yeah. So, I've got all my ice, even though it's a bit far away. I've got my ingredients. I've got a new camera stand for my camera. We'll actually show you the drinks, because my previous one, remember we had that issue with the light on the third stream, so I got myself a new one of those. Should be good. I'm also feeling quietly confident about the drinks on this one. They've taken me, well, particularly one of them has taken me a long while to try and get right. But, yeah, I think that I've cracked it. I think I've made some drinks that I can be really proud of. And I'll start sharing them with you now. So, let me, where's my... This, no, not this. Where is it? This, there we go. Alright. So, our first VTuber of the evening, on the left-hand side of the thumbnail, which I guess would be the right of me on the thumbnail, because I'm facing the other way. But left-hand side of the thumbnail, is none other than... You probably guessed it, it's Miss Nina Kasaka. That outline with all the foxtails is recognizable from a million miles away. So, as we know, Nina recently, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago now, graduated. I was planning to do a drink for her for a while anyway, and then I was going to actually make this on the weekend that she graduated. I was like, well, if I don't get this out now, I may never. Which A, was false, I guess, because here I am now doing it anyway, a couple of weeks after. And B, I couldn't do it then, because I threw my back out something horrendous. And, doing the amount of kind of leaning around and over, and, there's a surprising amount of gymnastics involved in this, for at least my old bones. So, yeah, I wasn't really in a fit state to, stream or do anything, really, actually. Getting up was difficult. But yeah. Now that my old man ailments have recovered somewhat, I can bring you this drink. Let's move on to the famous 4 bars that I invented, and I still hate the hot gold bar. I'm just gonna say it. That needs replacing, or possibly just removing. I think the other bar's a bit thicker. But I do like having 4 bars on there. Oh, what other classifier could I put? It's a question I ask myself every cocktail stream, and I still haven't come up with a good answer for it. But, hey, you know what? If you've got a good answer, pop it in the comments, why don't you? You never know. Well, in fact, no, it's not that I might read it. I will definitely read it, and I might implement it. Right, so, flavor profile of this one. So, a drink for Miss Nina Kasaka. We're going on the slightly bitter end here. Now, I feel like I should clarify this. I'm not talking bitter in a traditional sense, but as a lot of you who watched or knew anything of Nina can attest, she was very much, a wine drinker, very much kind of like, a wine mom type. So our main base ingredient here is going to be red wine. It has to be. There's no debating it. Now, I'm not a wine person. I've picked out a red wine that happens to be French, so extra points there because she also spoke French. Maybe? Yeah. Something along those lines, I'm hoping. But, yeah, I've picked out a wine as, like, the main ingredient for this drink. But I think all wines, like, I don't think I've ever had a sweet wine. I think, at least not a sweet red. I might have had some sweet whites, although maybe that was just, like, something else. But I don't think I've ever had a red that I would consider sweet. So that, plus the other mystery ingredient, shall we say, that I'm adding to this, that I think lean slightly more towards bitter than sweet, so we're just a little on the bitter side on that bar. Next up, the Weak Strong bar. We are looking at kind of moderate strength. A bit of a conundrum on this one, I think, because in order to get the flavors right, I feel like this is kind of where the strength ended up landing. Now, if I were making this, you know, an idealized version of this drink, I think it would be a bit stronger because, you know, Nina can, I feel like Nina gave off the air that she could definitely, you know, have a few wine bottles to herself, no problem. So I think, you know, she has the tolerance, and therefore I should honor that kind of tolerance with a slightly stronger drink. But also, you don't, you know, it's not it's not something I necessarily needed to do. And like I said, this is kind of more one of those ones where this is how the drink shook out, and, you know, here's an idea of kind of what it's like aside from my, you know, my rambling after I try it later. Where, God, I'm still remember the Girl DM one where, like, it was a really good drink, but I think I said the word minty about, like, 50 times after I'd lean sipped it. I was like, yeah, we get it, it's minty. Oh, my, yeah, vocabulary could use a bit of an upgrade on that particular front, potentially. But yeah, anyway, so kind of, yeah, like, mid-strength drink here. That's where the drink ended up. This next one, simple complex one, dead easy to answer. We're going for a simple drink. You know, Mama don't want, you know, no fancy, you know, gradients or setting things on fire or, you know, doing kind of like egg whites or anything like that. She wants a bottle of wine. And what I aim to do here with this cocktail is make that bottle of wine, not elevate it. I'm not going to say I want to elevate the bottle of wine, but definitely take it in a different direction that I think suits her. That hopefully she'd like. Excuse me, that was, just got into stream, Ah, hello, Sleepy. Nice to see you. Yeah, just had a look over at chat. You have to apologize if I've only just caught that. My chat lags behind a bit sometimes. But yeah, hello. So anyway, we're looking at a fairly simple drink here. For Nina, you know, doesn't mean it's not fancy. But it's, you know, it's an easier one to make. And then the hot cold bar, my behated. Yeah, it's a cold drink. I mean, this is a binary, not a bar, really, but sure. Because I don't think I'm ever going to serve anyone something lukewarm, because that sounds kind of grim. So, a couple of other notes to this, and I think I've gone over some of this already. So red wine had to be the staple ingredient for this cocktail. I can't make a wine mom drink and not have it... have it not have wine in it. That's, you know, there's something greatly imbalanced in the flow of the universe, I think, if I do that. And then I'm also proud of this one particularly because I think it's got a lot of things I'd attribute to Nina's essence in there. So we've got obviously the wine. We've got some what I would have liked to have been Russian standard vodka, but yeah, I think it's just I've just got a bottle of Smirnoff because it's what I had around and I didn't feel like buying another bottle. Because I don't really have any room for any more at this point. I need to expand the liquor cellars, perhaps. But yeah, so we've got wine, we've got vodka, we've got a little hint of that secret ingredient I mentioned earlier. Which we'll see very soon, hopefully. So, I now present to you my drink for Nina Kasaka. The Gambler's Gift. Which is also a name I'm pretty happy with as well. I'm gonna add this to here. Just give me 1 second because my keyboard's in a weird place and I have to stand up away from the mic to type. That'll do. All right. So then. Now I've got to remember how to do this bit, which should be there. Yep, that looks like it's coming through. Hello again. It's been a while since we've had the old hand cam going. But right. So, and I'm also going to get this up here. Do excuse me, it's like I say, it's been a little while since I did this. I'm a little all over the place. But, we'll pull through somehow, I'm sure. Right. So, let me get my shakers. The other way around, actually, because I'll probably pour from this side. And my jigger. There we are. Try and get them kind of central as well. Center is here. I need to move my mic across, actually. There we go. Right. So, first ingredient, as I've hearkened to several times already. Oops, and I've also just punched my mic stand. Red wine. We are looking at a Pinot Noir here. A Lemonade de Baron. Yeah. French red wine. I can't tell you much more about it than that. I'm really not a wine person, but it is a red wine, so as far as I'm concerned, I've fulfilled the brief. So let's unscrew this. I forgot how much harder this is to do with gloves on. And if I can get this directly over here, we're gonna want one. Yeah, it's catching nicely. And a half. There we are. Bits of that. I'm just gonna get this off camera, so I've got somewhere to put me spent tools. Oh, that's not quite off camera. Is this off camera? Yep, that's off camera. Okay. So we're starting with 1.5 ounces of red wine. Then our next ingredient is... hold on, let me screw the top back on this. Right. Our next ingredient is some vodka. Again, would have loved this to have been Russian standard, but, you know... I don't think Smirnoff is the Russian standard stuff. Maybe it is, and I'm actually just making a huge faux pas here, but, oop. Remember to not do that. There we go. Well, better anyway. So we're going to want 1 ounce of this, Russian standard. Hold on a sec. Oh, punch that again. I think I need some longer gloves with this as well. Look how far up my, shirt goes, because the amount of kind of like... You have to imagine that, like, my sleeves seem to go really far up because I'm essentially, like, bear hugging a mic and camera setup every time I reach my arms round. Which makes this quite difficult to do. But yeah, anyway, we want 1 ounce of vodka, so we're going to chuck that in now. Go. That's that good stuff. And... But this being a simpler drink, we don't add, you know, too much more to it. But I thought a while on this, and I thought, okay. So we have, you know, we have Nina Kosaka, we have our wine mom, we have kind of different nationalities or different languages she spoke covered now. You know, we've got kind of vodka for the Russian stuff, and red wine for the kind of French stuff. Ideally from their respective regions, which would be why they do from, they kind of come from that. But what would make this cocktail unique? What would really embody, you know, at least some of the characterization of, like, Nina Kosaka, you know, in her, like, design and in her lore, I guess, is where I'm going, pulling from with this one. What would make it feel homely? In that sense that, you know, like, oh, I'm home after a long period, and this is, like, a comfy drink. And maybe even it could be a bit flashy, you know? Because, like, the gambling, I guess the stereotypical gambling archetype has always been, like, you know, a flashy character. And, you know, while Nina was, like, definitely her designs, like, were, like, breathtakingly beautiful, and definitely flashy in that sense, you know, she was also very homely and down to earth. So I need something that's similar. I need this kind of paradoxical ingredient that's simultaneously flashy and not, if that makes sense. But luckily, I did think of something. Presenting my mystery ingredient. We're bringing back the Goldschlager, baby. Ooh. Gonna just make sure that's on screen. Here we are. This is a cinnamon schnapps that has little gold flakes in the bottom of it. For those of you who've never seen it before, you can kind of see them there. So it's very fancy. Well, it's allegedly very fancy. It's a nice looking drink though, and a nice tasting in small doses. And this is the key bit where this is the only bit with this drink that I think is worth worrying about, shall we say? Because I've made a couple of these in R&D, and it is very, very, very easy to add just a bit too much cinnamon schnapps, and suddenly you have this really kind of like dry, acrid, cinnamony tasting mess. So you do need to be very careful with this. So, to this, whoopsie, let me move my stuff around. I add a 1/4 ounce. Maybe like kind of a weighty quarter, but a 1/4 ounce of cinnamon schnapps. No more. You don't want to overdo this. So, about there. So you can see I've not filled it all the way up. You do not want like more than this. This might be a bit much actually, but I'm gonna give it the old college try, as it were. Okay. Right, in fact, I'm not gonna put that back in there. So that's all of. Oh god, I've got to stop punching my camera stand. I apologize for this. I've got to count up after the stream, see how many times I've punched that. So, I've got to very quickly fetch some ice for this. And also the last ingredient, I suppose. So, let me very quickly switch to, this. This. There we go. I'm gonna move myself down here. I'll be back shortly, once I have ice. Just give me a minute or two. Alright, and we are back. Let me switch to... Where are we? Here we are. Right. So, got some ice. Just need to pop it out to the old ice tray here. Ooh. Well, allegedly I've got some ice. Bits at the top didn't feel like freezing, apparently. There we are. So I'm just going to drop a couple of these little cubes in. I say a couple. Like 4 or 5, probably. I think 4 would be a good number. And 4, there we go. Right. And with that done, I'm going to close this up and give it a bit of a shake. Which I'm going to probably do behind camera, but you get the idea. Get you some nice kind of shaker ASMR again, assuming my audio filters aren't completely cancelling it out. The one difficulty I have with this shaking stuff is not that my arms get tired anymore or anything. which is a worrying sign, potentially, that I've shaken so many of these. I'm just like, yeah, you know, it's whatever at this point on my arms. But it's the fact that my kind of the backwards and forwards rocking motion tends to shake my headset off my head. Or my headphones, I should say, not headset. Which is a real pain in the butt. Gotta be honest. Like, I need to, you know, kind of need to sellotape this to my head, but also, my hair is there, and I don't want to put sellotape anywhere near that. There's got to be a better solution for this. Yeah, but if there is, I'm unsure of it. Right, anyway. I think that's enough shaking. We're going to get our glass, which... Oh, Cal, I need to change this camera angle a bit for this, potentially. Let me, There we are. Get a sneak peek of some of the, drinks to come as well. Right, so... We're going to open this shaker up as soon as I can. Again, much more difficult with gloves on. Wait. Almost. We go. Right. So. Pour our drink into here. Mm-hmm. And you'll notice the glass isn't quite full, and we can't be having that. So, as a little kind of last ingredient, I'm going to top this drink with a splash of lemonade. Now that's English lemonade to the American folks out there, so it's not the lemonade that you think is lemonade. Yeah, I'll just top it with a little of that. I'm still really not happy with the camera angle on this one, it's got to be said. I might have a play around with it. Excuse the midstream adjustment. Actually, that's not terrible. I can kind of get behind that. Let me just make sure I've got my shakers and stuff out of shot. Ideally this as well, that could go right over there. Right, okay, let's reach over here. Give this just a little stir now that we've put that lemonade in. Go. With my trusty bar spoon. That here. For now, yeah. Yep. And there we have it. The Gambler's Gift. I'm going to take a photo of this lovely drink. But yeah, so what I've essentially created here is it's kind of when I was like researching this drink. But you know what? I'm gonna take a sip first. I'm not gonna let it sit. I'm gonna do the taste test. See if this one's any good. And then, I hope it is, because like I say, I've R&D'd these enough. And then, yeah, I'll give you kind of a breakdown the flavour as far as I can tell anyway. Might have a bit of water first, actually. I do have a pint glass of water on hand. It's not much of a palate cleanser, but it does help the thirst. And the hangover the next morning. Pro tip, by the way, kids. Well, not kids. In fact, pro tip, by the way, kids, get out. This is not a kid's stream. But pro tip, by the way, grown adults, if you're drinking, make sure to have plenty of water before you go to bed, because hangovers are just dehydration. True fact. But anyway, the Gambler's Gift. Cheers. Yeah, that is good. Ooh, that is quite nice. Yeah, okay. So, this one's got kind of a nice evolution to it, I think. You start off, like, it's very, cinnamon forward. Perhaps almost a little too cinnamon forward. I would maybe tweak this down. Tweak the Goldschlager amount down to, like, forget the weighty 1/4 of an ounce. Just a 1/4 of an ounce. You don't need more than that. But you kind of get that quite strong, kind of cinnamony flavour. and then it kind of fades off. Like, it's kind of like the cinnamon is kind of like the opening act, I guess. And then that fades off, and you're left with kind of like the taste of the wine. And I think the sweetness of the lemonade obviously helps, you know... Well, the lemonade itself helps dilute the drink and make it not, you know, too overpoweringly strong in your mouth. But also there's kind of slight sweetness, because you'll notice I didn't put any syrups in this. It's just the lemonade sweetness carrying this. Yeah, kind of like really helps kind of bind those two separate parties together. So you've got like cinnamon into like nice red wine into just nice warm feeling, really. Like I said, the cinnamon, you know, to me at least, it feels quite quite homely. You know, it's a bit Christmassy, I guess. And what's more Christmassy than being home with the family, hey? That's, you know, it sounds like a very you know, like mom approval drink. Or maybe that's just me. But no, I quite like that. There's this other note, actually. There's this, I imagine, like, obviously I was picking up on the aftertaste of the wine, but you get this, like, I guess just as the cinnamon turns to wine, you get this kind of quite nice fruity note, which I assume, I mean, it has to come from the wine, because I don't know where else it could be coming from. Yeah, so it's like you get cinnamon, grape, and then kind of like the general, you know, like wine aftertaste, I think is the only way I can describe it, because I am, A, not a wine person, and B, I have the palate of someone who's very unrefined in the palate sense. But yeah, a good drink, I believe. I'm very happy with this one. Like I said, I think it's turned out, I mean, obviously, you know, looks like a glass of red, tastes like a family, you know, a good family Christmas, I should point out, because I know a lot of people don't have good family Christmases. Be it, you know, lack of family or lack of good family. But in this, you know, idealized kind of, you know, I guess Disney-like scenario where, you know, everyone's home for the holidays. This is what that tastes like. Which is a really weird thing to flavor now that I've come to think about it. But I'm not wrong. You know, I will die on the hill that I am not wrong with this one. Still a little bit too much cinnamon, though. That's the only complaint I have with this drink, is that I just need to tweak the cinnamon down a little bit. And then I think I've got a pretty good drink. So oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. So this drink initially started out, like I guess I'll give you a slight walkthrough of the R&D process. This drink initially started out as a, kind of a variant on something called the Bishop, which is red wine, rum, like syrup and lime, I think. It's something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, so, you know, we can put red wine with rum. It's probably not a huge stretch, then, to, say, swap out that rum with vodka. And then, you know, yeah, it's not a huge step to swap out that rum with vodka, and then see how that works. And, you know, I tried a bit of that, and I was like, oh, okay, but, like, it's a bit of a weird drink now, because the lime and the syrup are really there to help the rum, and they kind of help the vodka, but no, they're not really. So I need to kind of go in a different flavor way, and also, you know, it's starting to taste a bit too much like tropical, you know, well, something tropical. Which is not the mom vibe. Well, it's not, yeah, you know, I don't think it relates to Nina as strongly as what we've got here. So that's where I thought, okay, I need to make additional for the flavor. And I came up with the Goldschlager idea. And then I tried mixing those together, and it was like, yeah, this is all a bit much. I remember that I had one of these that, I made up with way too much Goldschlager, like the wrong amounts, and it was the most, like, dry and acrid and, like, ugh, kind of thing. Like, I physically reeled at that one. But luckily that's not this one. This one's, this one's definitely, one of my best. In fact, it's so good, I'm gonna have another sip. It's a very classy looking drink as well, isn't it? It's, yeah, definitely. Something that wouldn't be seen out of place, both in, you know, Fox Mom's hands, or at a banquet hall. And I say particularly given her second outfit, to be fair, where she was very, like, you know, it was a very elaborate kind of dress and hat and stuff. I think that, that'd fit her quite nicely there too. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, the R&D process when I got to the really acrid stage. So I got this really acrid stage, and I was like, okay, I need to tone all of this down, but try and, like, keep some of the flavors. And then I thought, well, hang on a minute. People make wine spritzes, which are, like, wine and seltzer or tonic water or something. I can probably ditch the lime and syrup, because I don't think they're doing anything. Dilute this down with a bit of lemonade, which is kind of like, well, first off, it's the only type of fizzy thing I can get over here, because, like, I can get tonic water, but that's super bitter. I did try tonic water in this, actually. I think that was what made the super bitter version, now I'm remembering it. But it made a bitter version. Yeah, so I was like, okay, we're going to try some lemonade, sweeten this up a bit, dilute it down a bit, maybe help the flavor profile come together, and lo and behold, it did. So anyway, that is a gambler's gift, and I'm very happy with it. Right, coming up shortly, we'll have our second, I'll just put this over here. Coming up shortly, we'll have our second VTuber drink, but I need to make some preparations first. Mainly just rinsing out my shakers and making sure that's all alright. So, I'll be putting my back soon screen up for the last time tonight. Just bear with me for 5 or so minutes. Yeah, I'll be back soon. Alright, and we are back in a pretty good time, actually, I think. So, I say it's high time we, moving on. I'm getting better at remembering that. Remember the first few streams I didn't. But I'm keeping my text up to date. Right, I think it's high time we deleted that and then moved on to our next VTuber. So, and you will be a personal favourite of mine if you've got this one. So our next VTuber that we're making a drink in honour of is this adorable little bundle of mushroom spores. It is Kinoko Matango, who's a Japanese VTuber here on YouTube who I watch a lot because, god damn it, she's adorable and has the most soothing voice. Like, damn, her just tracking streams, I'm not gonna lie, brilliant. Love them. Like, she could just read entries out of a telephone directory and I would be there for it. It's a VTuber I feel like not as many people know about, but I want to know, although she is still like, fairly, I think, well developed. I mean, if you've seen her model and her screens and that, she's definitely very kind of committed to the craft, which I respect. But obviously, no, she's not, she's not Niji Sanji, she's not Hollow, she's not VShoujo, she's not the big agencies, and she's not one of the VTubers that necessarily everyone knows about. And I feel like it's important that I give, spotlights to VTubers like these, or even, far smaller than her if I think they're cool. Yeah, but for now, we are dealing with Miss Tangle. Let's bring up the 4 bars, shall we? So, Kinoko Matango. Or as I'm actually going to refer to her going forward, just Tango-san. Because I feel that's appropriate. And I believe that's how she refers to, her, like... Maybe not how she refers to herself, but at least how her fans, I believe, refer to her. But yeah. So, Tango, what are we going to make here on the bittersweet front? We are going very sweet, because she's adorable. And... yeah, and I wanted to make her a nice drink that I thought she'd like. Not that if I make a bitter drink for someone, I hate them and I hope they burn or something. It's not how this scale works. But I think sweet little thing, sweet little drink. Well, sweet big drink actually, but yeah, that's kind of my reasoning for that. Also, I like sweet drinks and I wanted to make a sweet one because, like, the wine cinnamon kind of thing, the gambler's gift, it's cool. It's not, but wine is not my my preferred, I guess, beverage. So I wanted to do something a bit different from that while I was R&Ding both of these drinks. On the strength front, we want strong. Now there's a reason for this. You might be thinking, well, hold on, you just spent ages picking up this, sweet little thing, make a sweet drink, and like, shouldn't it be, a fairly weak, a fairly nice drink? Tango-san is obviously home to a, I believe, I'm unsure of her lore, I'll be honest. If I'm getting any of this wrong, I can only apologize. The Japanese I do speak is very broken and shit, for want of a better word. But yeah, from what I understand, that she's kind of like home to like a colony of mushrooms, and like every one of her viewers is like part of that colony and stuff, and it's all very cool stuff. But the point is that she, with the whole mushrooms thing, has things, at least has bits of art of her with, like, the kind of, like, the yellowy, kind of, like, the yellowy blue, like, circles in her eyes, kind of like, hallucinogenic looking, kind of, like, touch fuzzy, get dizzy kind of stuff. And I thought that was cool, and I was like, oh, okay. In which case, we're going to make this drink the kind of essence of, these edibles ain't shit, and then it's going to hit you. So it's not going to taste strong. But boy, is it going to be strong. This is one of the stronger drinks I've made. I could probably do with shifting that line up a bit further to the right, actually. But, yeah, this is a strong one. On the simple complex side, it's honestly mostly simple. There's one bit I could potentially fuck up, which is why it's just, just to the right of the middle line there. But it's not a hard drink. Not many drinks are, to be fair, unless you're making, like, you know, a blue blazer or a, you know, something like that. Which is a drink that you shake, or not even shake, actually, it's you roll, which means you pour it from one can to the other, while it's on fire. In my professional, you know, opinion, don't do that. You don't need it. It's silly. Don't. And on the final bar, we've got our hot and cold. It's a cold drink, to no one's surprise. Right, now this drink went through so many different steps, and it's taken me such a long time to try and get it right, you know, to a point where I feel happy with it. Originally, it was going to be, actually, no, I can go through more of that in the kind of, like, the after drink, but I'm aware that I've got ice melting here, so I should probably just get on with, stuff. But yeah, this drink went through a lot of R&D stuff, which I'll explain in a bit. The colour was particularly important to me here. Actually, I kind of go into it here anyway, never mind. I actually kind of, like, when I was starting this, I wanted to kind of a purple to black gradient. But I could never quite get it right. I even bought in some specialist kind of, like, gin to maybe help me with that kind of, that effect. But that didn't turn out, and I've got the gin now, so I'm going to use it here anyway. And also think it's kind of like a nice kind of weird drink. Well, it's a nice kind of weird, spirit, I should say. That, you don't see very often. So, why not use it, you know? Let's be special. Right, so I'm now presenting the drink for, Tango-san. Ooh, missed the button. Yeah. One trip to the colony. Right, let me just, punch that up on the old screen, and we'll get to mixing. You know what? That fits enough. I'm not gonna faff around with it. Actually, you know what? I can faff around with it a little. Let me just hold on. Lean over. Yep. Okay, right, there we go. So, back to this. Right, and back to our freshly cleaned out cans. Yeah, that is freshly cleaned out. That's just, that spot there is on my desk, not, hold on. Probably clean that up, actually. Sod it. Fine. Note to self, have some towels or, like, you know, kitchen roll or something on hand next time. Before starting messing around with wine, because that stuff stains. I don't want to stain my desk forevermore. Right, anyway. The trip to the colony, and I hope you like what I've done with the name there. Because obviously colony here would be the colony of mushrooms we spoke about. And the trip bit would be the kind of like trippy, high alcohol content nature, which I admit is not how trips work, you know. But within the region of the cocktail, it's the closest I'm going to get, isn't it? So, well, personally, I'm allowing it, and I run the stream, so as far as I'm concerned, it's all good. Wait, so our first ingredient is that unusual ingredient that I bought for the specific intent of making gradients and drinks with it, and then that didn't kind of work out. It is this. Some Butterfly Pea Scottish Gin. And as you can probably see from the bottom here, it's this marvellous, like, purpley blue colour. Which I thought, like, yes, this is the colour I need in my drink. Or at least in part of it to make the gradient. And then that didn't work out, and I thought, well, I've got a bottle of this now, and I may as well use it up. So, we're going to put in 2 ounces of this. Let me just get myself more central. There we are. So, 1. Eventually, there we go. And that other number. Means I have actually almost used up all of this, which is an achievement. Okay. But yeah, there we are. 2 ounces of some quite nice gin. Whoopsie. Then we're going to want 0.5 ounces of some good old Blue Curacao, keeping on with this weird funky colour theme. This, actually, is the reason why I couldn't stream yesterday, because I went to pull out my Blue Curacao, and I think I've still got it down here. But the previous bottle I had got about that much left. I was like, shit, I probably should have checked that when I last finished R&Ding it, but to be fair, I was about 3 or 4 drinks in, and I was, not in the best amount of mental faculties to check such a thing. So, we had to cancel that, and I had to go out this morning, get this Decoiper Blue Curacao. Same people who did the cherry liqueur that was in the Hosho Marine drink. Which I forget the name of now. It was like Pirate's Plunder, I think? I want to say it was the Pirate's Plunder. If not, then, I don't know, fire the guy who made that drink and tell him that the name is now the Pirate's Plunder. Right. But yeah, anyway. We want 0.5 ounces of Blue Curacao. Which we're going to... go. A very funky drink, this one. Next, I think the last alcoholic ingredient, actually, but definitely the one you should watch out for. I'm not sure if I've ever shown this on camera. Not even fully convinced I'm allowed to be fair, but I'm going to. No, I'm pretty sure I am. At least in the UK. We're going to add a mere 1/4 ounce of this. This fairly plain, innocuous looking liquid is called Spirytus. It is a Polish spirit, and what's most notable about it is this here. This is 95%. If you want to put something in a drink that's going to get people fucked, you look for this bottle. And also you be very, very sparing with it. I have to probably, not even for legal reasons, just for I don't want people to actually fucking die here. Have to say, if you do come across a bottle of Spirytus, you never drink it neat. Don't be a hero. And if you do mix into anything, and you'll probably see the ratio I'm going for here. Apologies, I keep punching the camera tonight. But yeah, we're going to put in this drink 1/4 ounce. In fact, not even 1/4 ounce. I'm going to say like an under 1/4 ounce. If the last Goldschlager I did was an over 1/4 ounce, this is going to be an under 1/4 ounce. A little more than that. A little more than that. Yep, there we go. It looks blue because the Blue Curacao is still a bit in there, but yeah. No more than that. That might have been a bit much, to be fair. Perhaps somewhere between like an 1/8 and 1/4 ounce, I wouldn't even begrudge you. But you've got to be so careful with that. Right. And now that's done. Let's move on to some other stuff. Now, this next ingredient brings me back onto the colour conundrum. Because I originally wanted to make this drink a bit darker by using some blackcurrant juice. I thought, that's a unique fruit juice. It's kind of like blackish, you know, blacky purplish in colour. I'll go and have a go with that. And then the shop near me didn't have any. So in a blind kind of panic, I thought, ooh, I know what'll work. I'll get blueberry juice. That'll do it. That's the ticket right there. Fun fact about blueberry juice. It's fucking red. Which is not quite what I was looking for. It had one job, and it failed. That being said, it did still end up making this drink really good. So I added the Blue Curacao in kind of after the fact to tweak the colours around a bit. And yeah, we're going to be putting in 1.5 ounces of blueberry juice. Oh, piss, that's a bit much. This is the part of the stream where things start going everywhere. Well, it's fine. We're gonna maybe just do a bit less than we should there, considering I actually got... That's probably more like 1 3/4 ounces, but you know what? It's blueberry juice. It's fairly inoffensive. It'll be fine. But now I thought, okay, with blueberry juice being kind of inoffensive, I want something to, you know, give this a nice punchy flavor. You know, what's really gonna bring home the bacon here? And to that end, I have decided to put in my next ingredient, 1/2 ounce of passion fruit juice. Now, strictly speaking, this is, I believe, what's it called? Passion fruit punch, which is mostly passion fruit and then like a bit of apple and some other stuff. In fact, if I look at the back of the thing, it is passion fruit juice, peach puree, and apple juice. Which, you know, is, I guess, as close as I could get to passion fruit juice. You could technically get, like, a passion fruit puree, I guess. But, meh. 1/2 ounce of that stuff will do me. And our final ingredient... God, I'm gonna have to say goodbye to these gloves. To my credit, with the blue and red... well, not so much the red, but with the blue and red, they're starting to look like, the kind of, you know, the kind of yellow-blue crazy mushroom eyes, for want of a better term, that, Miss Tangle has in some of her art. So actually, I'm going to chalk that up to a W. Right, so our final ingredient is 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, which I need to get out of this lemon. So I'm just going to do that. Use a chopping board if you're at home, kids, but I'm a fully grown adult who doesn't care about his furniture, apparently. So there we are. It's 1/2 ounce of that. Oh, sorry, not 1/2 ounce of that. That's 1/2 a lemon. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm just gonna load this lemon into here, like so. Position it over this, and we're gonna try and squeeze from this side so I don't block the camera. Although speaking of the camera, I've got to be very careful with these lemons, because I've squeezed a couple of them before, and they're a bit too big for my juicer here. My old Mexican elbow. So sometimes, a bit like it did there, it'll squeeze juice out the sides, and I really don't want this to squeeze juice directly onto my camera lens, because Sod's Law says that will happen. Oy. Uh-huh. That'll do, that'll do. Well, it won't quite do, it's not 1/2 ounce yet, but, if I can... This it'll do for this spent half, once I give this side a bit of a mash. Okay. 1 spent lemon. And then if I can just load the next one in. Yup, there we are. Reloaded. Ready to fire. God. I've got my lemon gun in hand. What are you going to do? That looks like about enough lemon juice for me, so I'm not going to finish squeezing that. I'm just going to leave it there. And there we go. 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, which I'm going to throw right into here. And I believe that's everything. Weirdly, I haven't added syrup to either of these. This one could probably do with a bit of syrup. But I'm going to stick with my recipe, and I'll bring it up in the tasting notes if I think it needed it, in post, should we say. Ooh, this is just a bit watery. Okay. Right, we're going to add 1, 2... I've just got my ice rack, off screen here, that's all that is, don't worry about it. 3, 4, we're going to go 6, because this is quite a big drink. Maybe even 8. No, 6, actually. 6 is fine. Ooh, that is a lot of water, actually. Given how that's a lot of water, I'm going to take this back downstairs and put it back in the freezer. Yeah, I think that's probably my safest bet. So, once more we head to the back soon screen for just a few moments. Alright, and we are back. Now, I've actually brought up those ice cubes we threw in before. They're a little melted. Just a couple more ice cubes. Gonna keep this cold enough so that it forms a seal. When we shake it, you should notice, yeah, you can see the bottom bit of this glass is not steaming up. That's kind of the wrong word for it entirely. But, it's certainly doing something. And that something is forming a vacuum seal so that we can shake it. This one obviously now does have a lot of kind of like solid ice in it, so we're going to need to shake it for a little while, but that's not a problem. Or at least it shouldn't be. It is also like a very big drink. I've been considering whether I want to put this in like a hurricane glass or not, but I thought that would be too big. So I've gone for just like, what do you call them? Just kind of like a standard highball. Which I prepared in a special way, actually, which I did sneakily while I just took that, just took that break to put my other ice back. Because I have 2 sets of ice, because I am very prepared this time. Wasn't yesterday, but we ignore that. I think this is sounding almost done. You can hear probably like just a couple of clinks of small bits of ice now. So, let's give that a go. We'll move this out the way as well now that ice tray is gone. There we are. move this whole thing just a little more out of shot. There we go. Right then. So, what I've done... Get this damn thing open again. Come on, I know you want to open. Oi. There we go. Oh, we're looking good on the colour front. Very promising on the colour front. Perhaps a bit too... interesting. Okay, so we have our glass, which I have filled with ice. We're going to strain this drink in. God, here's hoping I don't mess up this bit. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's looking very good. Looking a bit much, actually. And the plan was to top this with lemonade. But, not really much call for it. In fact, I'm going to just try a little bit, see how it is lemonadeless. Yeah, even a little bit of lemonade I think would go quite far on that drink. So, pro tip, don't fill your glass up with as much ice as I did. You want about half of a glass. Because while it does help, it's yeah, there we are. Now we've got some really nice kind of funky things going on in there. Which I think is really cool. And we're going to give this a stir with the old bar spoon. Give that a swirl. It's a very pretty looking drink, it's got to be said. Yeah. And there we have it. One trip to the colony. Which I'm also going to take a photo of. There we go. Right. I'm not sure how well this shows up on camera. Maybe I'll try and move it round a bit to help you see it through my eyes. But this drink isn't just black. It is kind of like quite a nice, like dark purpley blue. I think maybe this is the best light I can get it in. But yeah, the ice kind of at the top does help with that. You have the very dark tones at the bottom, and then the kind of lighter blue at the top. So I guess actually, I've accidentally made the gradient I was looking for. Huh. Who'd have thought? Because obviously I didn't put all the ice. I put all the ice in the first attempts at this, and then I didn't on my last few attempts. And now I've re-put some ice in. And, okay, right, well, let's give it a try with lemonade anyway. Yeah. The lemonade's a must in that. I've got to say. Bit less ice, bit more lemonade. That's really the only note I have on it. Kind of bad-wise. Other than that, you get this kind of quite nice sweet note, which is a mix of the lemonade kind of carrying the blueberry juice, which is quite a subtle flavour. And then, hold on, let me know, how does it progress after that? No, actually, hold on. Yeah, the kind of... That is so odd. It's got such an odd, like, flavour progression. I'm really having trouble pinning it down. And I mean odd in the best possible way, because I keep taking sips of it. Yeah. Okay. So I think front runners, you get the passion fruit kind of punch and the blue curacao. They're the things that are like, bam, we're here. It's the punch that we wanted this drink to have, to make it kind of like a nice, sweet tasting drink. Because it's blue curacao at the front, it is kind of like a synthetic-y sweet. Which, in a way, with the whole trippiness thing, I can, you know... yeah, maybe that works, but also mushrooms are very natural, so it's like, There's pros and cons, fors and against for that kind of stuff there. But yeah, so you have that at the front. And then it kind of goes into the, like that hangs for a little bit, but underneath it, a bit after, you have this, the kind of blueberry juice lemonade kind of coming in. And it means that once the passion fruit blue curacao decides to, you know, fuck off, for want of a better word, you're kind of left with this nice kind of blueberry, and lemonade kind of like thing to tide you over until the gin kicks in. Now, actually, I guess the gin is very present at the start as well. But the difference between the gin and the blue curacao and the passion fruit is that the blue curacao and the passion fruit, like, they're there and then they're gone. The gin is there, but then you have kind of like, it mingles quite well with the lemonade and the blueberry afterwards to give you this kind of like ginny like kind of, it's not even late enough to be called an aftertaste. It's kind of, yeah, it's. I guess it's a secondary or maybe even tertiary taste, if that's even a term. Do people use that? Do people understand that? I'm doing my best here, but like this is a wacky drink. And what's more as well, because of the ice and because of the lemonade, admittedly, I think again you could do with a bit less ice, a bit more lemonade than this. That would be my note for a better drink in the future. But because of that, and because of all the fruit juice as well, you get that there's gin in this. And blue curacao from the kind of synthetic-y taste, obviously. It doesn't, like, this taste is very drinkable. But of course, lest we forget that this bastard is in here. So, you can drink one of these, maybe even two, as I in fact did last night while desperately trying to hammer out this drink. But then you will get up and realize, oops. Because, yeah, a couple of these, like, are deceptively strong. They're cute, they're playful. They will knock you out. And while I very much doubt Tango-san would, do any knocking out of people, I've got to say, you know, it fits the kind of the trip aesthetic, because it's, as I said at the start of this, I believe, actually, this drink is the definition of, these edibles ain't shit. And then it hits you. Also, the colouring on this, I have to say, I'm really proud of. I don't want to mention the ice thing again. We know that. Other than that, I'm really happy with this drink. This is a good drink. I can highly recommend it. I think it's actually one of the best I've made on this show. I genuinely do feel that strongly for it. Because we've made some good drinks on this show. Like the Girl DM one, particularly like that GMDF, I think it was called. That I felt was really cool. This I feel is up there. The Evelyn Breezer, I think I made in episode 1, or stream 1, or whatever you want to call that. Also up there. Actually, I suppose now that we're on this bit, I can talk about the R&D of the drink, can't I? So, this drink has a history. It took me ages to get it, like, right, to the point where, you know, I was buying ingredients for it this morning and testing it out, last night. So, this originally started out as, it was gonna be, essentially, I'd bought in this fancy, you know, this fancy, Butterfly Pea Gin that was all this nice blue colour. There's not much of it left now, but you can kind of see it there. And I was like, oh, great. I've seen people do things where they have a fruit juice, kind of here, and this blue gin at the top. If I can find something darker coloured to put at the bottom, and then float this gin at the top, I might be in business here. So I kind of went along with that recipe. I did a little bit of passion fruit juice. I originally had like a Midori and a blue curacao thing in the bottom to make this kind of darker colour. It wasn't quite as dark as I wanted because I didn't account how the juice would lighten it up, so it ended up becoming this kind of very vibrant green. And I was like, okay, well, I'll see if the gin floats over this anyway. I floated the gin over the top. Beautiful blue to green gradient, which is not at all the colours I was looking for, but you know, it was what I ended up with. I actually had someone else who helped me R&D this, and we both tried it, and it was fucking awful. Because what they don't tell you about these gradient drinks, where you put the gin at the top, is that if you don't mix them before you drink them and thus destroy the gradient, you just get a mouthful of gin. And when you're expecting, you know, a fruity cocktail and you just get gin, it's like, ugh, way too much. Way too much. So, that essentially put the headstone on the gradient idea until it was kind of resuscitated by this ice thing, I guess. I tried a couple of other different kind of, you know, combinations of stuff. I ditched the Midori, didn't think it fit this, now that I was trying to use something else at all. I did ditch the Blue Curacao as well at one point, but then, obviously, I brought in the blueberry juice, realized it was red, and I was like, I'm gonna just have to, like, I guess add the Blue Curacao back in. Oh no, is my stream down? Oh no, hold on. One sec, my OBS is... Never mind, we're back. Okay, I think we were away for a second there. I hope that hasn't happened too many other times tonight, because I'll be honest, I haven't been paying attention to that square at all. Oh god, no, we're gone again. Now we're back. It's being a bit temperamental, it seems, so, I guess I better curtail my yattering, as it were. But yeah, so we had the gradient, we had the blueberry juice in, it made it too red. I added the Blue Curacao, and we ended up with something like this. And this is genuinely a really, really nice drink. If there's a drink from the show I can recommend you make, do this one. I'm pretty convinced you don't even have to have the fancy blue gin. You can just have gin. The Blue Curacao will fix your colours. Maybe. Can't say I've tried it. Probably going to have to soon, though, if I want to make this again, because I'm out of blue gin. But anyway, that is all I have time for at the minute. So, let me, where are we? Yeah. That's there. I know I'm only doing this for the sake of sign-off, essentially, but may as well do it properly, hey? Alright. And that is everything I have time for. So, thank you all very much for watching. Tonight we made a gambler's gift for the lovely Nina Kasaka, and a trip to the colony for Tangle-san. Who I will be posting these cocktails on Twitter. I might even tag people this time. I don't normally do that because I'm not entirely sure my Twitter etiquette. I'm not sure if that's considered rude, but you know what? I'm going to put myself out there and just be prepared to get slapped if it goes wrong. So, yes, thank you all very much for watching. My name's been Artorius Winchester, and I'll see you next time, which will not be in August, because August is just going to be a no stream zone, I'm not going to lie to you. I am far too busy that month, being far away from my normal streaming setup. I am out on adventures, shall we say. But I will see you after August, and I'll have another 2 drinks ready for another 2 VTubers. Until then, farewell, and drink responsibly. I haven't said that once this stream, actually. I should probably say that. Drink responsibly, especially if you have Spirytus around. Jesus Christ. Stuff's lethal. Anyway, farewell.